So just give me a minute, sir. Okay, so I'm going to show you this data, which is based upon the RIASIC model. RIASIC means realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. So this is 173 data. So now I'm going to show you how k-means clustering we can apply on this data. Okay. So for k-means clustering, we need some packages in our studio. So what are those packages? First is library mass, then library Kerala. Okay. So my data is this vector name is career data MV1. This is my data. Sorry, no, not this one. Okay. Data MV now. This is my data. So this is all numeric.
Now, Farah, please you tell students that is what is the meaning of 0 and what is the meaning of 1.
Yes, so in this is so in zero means that there are two options. This is a forced choice based test. So in the first we have given them some career options in that. So those career options are in the first one it is audiologist and military officer. So military officer, if somebody is may matlab somebody is choosing military officer, then the score will be 1. But if somebody is choosing audiologist, then the score will be 0. Okay, so ma'am, are you getting it?
Okay, yes, yes.
Yeah, so it's a 0 1 kind of a thing, and in each option, in each category, we are providing them two options. And if they are choosing option of that particular category, then they are getting 1 mark, and if they are choosing other category, then they are getting 0. Okay.
Okay.
Now how to apply k-means clustering on this kind of data. So what is the code?
Farah, you write down DIM,
Okay, sir.
then bracket. So here you can find out 37. It will be 36.
So clusters are also there.
No, we
This
have to
one
remove this
cluster. So
because we will not, for the analysis, cluster will not be there. So you have to remove this one. So you
okay.
write down names, bracket, then, enter. So we have to remove. So you write down career, whatever the things is written equal to
Yes, sir.
same name,
So what, sir?
same name, career data.
Okay. Yes.
Then box bracket minus comma 37. Enter. What happened?
So error is coming, sir.
Okay.
So
Then
error.
you can write down box bracket 1:36.
1:36. Sir, 1:36 is good. Yeah.
Now you check names
The names of the team
or dim.
36.
Okay. So now it is clear. Since it is written, that is, there is a cluster. So already written, that will not be accounted in the model. Therefore, we have selected only this 36. Why this 36? Because 6 items are there for the 6 groups. R for realistic, I for investigative, A for artistic, S for social, E for entrepreneurship, and C for convention. So these are the 6 groups. So 6 by 6, 36. Okay. Now, Farah, continue.
So now these things will be there. So we are taking 6 K. The K, can you explain what is K? So we are taking 6.
Since there are 6 groups, so we are expecting that these 36 variables, they will be classified into 6 groups. That is the theoretical assumption. Therefore, we are writing optimal K equal to 6. Optimal K.
Yes. And this is for you.
Yeah, state.seed, this is very vital. Particularly when you want to do the cluster analysis, you have to use this thing. Yeah, now it is the scale data. So it is written scaled, but what is the scale data?
Scale data is here. So this was my data, and for this data, I have created one vector data
No,
subset.
then you have to write down the scale data equal to.
Scale. Abhi sir, I'll show them. So this is first I have created one vector, and in that vector, in that vector, I have added all the names. Then I have to do scale. So scale data.
Yeah,
Then
so
I
you have to
created.
show scale data.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So this Abhi, I'm showing them how to create the scale data. Then I put this function. This was the function scale, and this was my data. So Abhi, I'll show them what is scale data. So this is my scale data.
So what is the scale data? Scale data means score minus mean divided by standard deviation. So this is the scale data. So Farah, you can write down HIST.
So what's a
HIST HIST,
yes, sir.
bracket scale data,
Okay. Yes, sir. Enter.
enter. Okay, so this is the data structure, histogram of scale data. So here you can find out the 0 at the middle point because it follows the normal distribution. Okay, since this data is the categorical data, this is not the metric data, it is the categorical data. Therefore, you find this type of distribution. So middle point is 0 and there is 0.51 and 1.5. Here you can find out minus 0.5, 1.0, minus 1. So one side is minus, another side is plus. Since it is the categorical data, you are getting this type of distribution. Okay, now, so this is the frequency.
So now the next step was K means wala. So this was the next step, K means. And now we can see everything in this. 1 second, sir. This thing is coming again. Now, K means result. So now you can check clusters, right?
Hmm.
So this is cluster.
So there are 6 clusters are there. Just you write down K means result,
Okay. Center.
enter. Now you go below. How many clusters are there? 6 clusters. And here you can find out it is a 20.2% classification. So that means very poor classification. Okay. So you must be very clear about this thing. That is the classification is very poor. Between sum of square divided by the total sum of square equal to 20.2. So you cannot make any generalization based upon the 6 classification. Okay. So you have to collect more number of data that may help you. Now, Farah, you write down K means result dollar cluster.
Center.
No, no. Before that, you write down table.
Okay.
Before K means
Good.
table bracket. After that cluster,
Yes.
then enter. So here you can find out the 6 groups are there, 6 clusters are there, and in each cluster, particularly cluster 1, 2, 3, 24 cases are there, and maximum is in cluster 4. That means we have to find out what is the cluster mean. So, Farah, you write down K means results dollar centers. Enter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means the cluster 1 basically in cluster 4. Cluster 4 is high in case of the R1, and the cluster 4 also high in R2, R3 also, R4 also, but not cluster, not R5. 1 sec. Hello. Yeah. Good evening. Uh, so here you can find out that is the realistic. They are basically the realistic group. And this particular, um, further you go up, so the realistic people, they are in cluster 4. Okay, they are basically in cluster 4, but only this R5 and R6, these two not matching, but only the first 4, uh, they are matched. So here you can find out the cluster 4 possessed higher score in case of R1, R2, R3, and R4. That means the items, they are representing adequately these uh, 4 variables, R1, R2, R3, R4, but not the R5 and R6. And both R5 and R6, they are high in case of the cluster 3. Okay, but not the 4. 4, they are far behind 4. So you must be very clear about why R5 and R6, their items are away from the expected cluster. So expected cluster is cluster 4, but you have seen that is this R5 and R6, they are high in case of the cluster 3. Next is the investigative. Investigative, they are high, particularly in the cluster 6. And 6, they are high in case of the cluster 6. Okay. So, Farah, can you reduce it? That is the K, optimum K, that will be 3.
So,
Then what will be the result?
second number, wait a
Now
second.
you write down K means cluster result, not the cluster. Just K means result, enter.
12.10.
That means whatever the cluster, the cluster does not show better result. So we have to collect more number of data. This data is inadequate for any sort of generalization. But I like to tell you that this is the script that you can follow for clustering the data, which will be the 1-0 type, that is the categorical data. In your practical situation, when you have the big data, when you have large number of data. Here the data size is not adequate for representing the cluster. Because if you reduce, then again your classification index is less, and you have only the 6 groups. Therefore, this is my suggestion. Farah, you can do one thing. Uh, you go below,
Yes.
you write uh, names, bracket, what is your original data? Yeah, enter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you write down carrier. Now, you write down realistic. Realistic sum. It is there. I think you have the
Yes, sir. But I
sum.
don't know whether it is correct or not. I mean, whether it is of full data. So, no, sir, this is wrong. This is of not 173 data.
Okay, so you write down realistic sum.
Yes, sir.
You can write down row sum, no problem. Okay, apply. Then you write down
And
carrier data, then MV, num, box bracket, 1:6, then comma, 1 comma sum, then enter. Like that, you have to make the sum. Double colon you have given.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Now you write down this k-means cluster analysis, whatever you have done. No, no, no. What is the first one? First command.
Say
It
numeric.
is your data frame. Now it is your data frame. You go below.
Okay.
No, no, no. You go
Acha.
below.
Yes, sir.
Now you write down interest equal to data frame, data dot frame, bracket, this realistic sum 173, comma, I sum 173, A sum 173. Yeah. So you continue. Enter. Now you write down head interest. Enter. Yeah, 322, 3, 4, 3. Now you do this. This is your data frame. Now you do the k-means cluster analysis as per the,
Yes,
that is
yes.
initially it will be the scale. You have to convert the data into scale.
Okay.
So scaled interest.
Yes, sir. First, we have to create the vector. Okay. Okay.
Not scaled interest. Okay, scaled data.
Hmm. Now this thing will come. Hmm.
You check the data. What is the scale data? You check it.
Okay.
You write down hist bracket scale data. Scaled data is CAL. Okay. So now you can find out the difference between the category and the metric. Now it becomes the metric data. Earlier it was categorical data. Now it becomes the metric data. So the histogram that also indicates if 0 is at the middle point and the right side is positive and left side is negative. And the mean falls between -1 and +1. So mean, median, mode, everything is 0. So that is at the middle point. Okay. So this is the scale data. So now you have very clear idea about the scale data. Now go do the k-means.
So 3 or 6, sir?
Okay, first you write down 3 and then we'll check the percentage of classification.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Now you write down K means result. Enter.
32.7, sir.
Little bit high.
Hmm. Now
Okay.
6 you want to do?
Now table bracket K means result cluster
Hmm.
dollar cluster. So here you can find out the frequencies are relatively high. Three groups. Now you write down cluster center. Yeah. So the first cluster that is high in realistic, and the second cluster that is high. Second cluster is not very high. It is negative. Third one, third cluster is high in case of the investigative, and the uh,
It's a convention.
convention, convention, conventional, that is also high.
Yes.
So the cluster 3, they are high in these two areas, but cluster 2 is not good. Okay, now we can find out who are the individuals who are very high in case of the cluster 1. That means they are the realistic people. So now you go, so you will find the 54 people, they are in cluster 1, and go below, below. And 57 people in cluster 2. 62 people, they are in cluster 3. So the cluster 3 people, they are high in investigative and the conventional system. Okay, but be careful, the classification is very poor. It is 33%. So now, Farah, you can write down optimum is 4. Then what will be? Now you do the analysis. It increases 39.2. But again, it is not very high.
Yes, sir. So 6 देखें. Can I try 6? Let's just see how much it is. 48.8.
Hmm. But let's go to the cluster center.
अच्छा sir.
So it does not give much information. That is the cluster 4. That is the realistic people. But they are also investigative. Now, they are investigative with cluster 2. Artistic also cluster 2. Isam entrepreneurship cluster 1, and conventional now in cluster 3. Conventional in cluster 3. So we have to find out the people, how many people are in different clusters. Now you go to above para. It is 49% classification. And what is the cluster? It is the cluster size is very bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is it 44? Um, okay. And next is 6, 35. Okay. So 6 groups are there and 6 clusters are there. That is the theoretical point of view. But our goal will be to reduce the number of clusters. So we have to find out whether these 6 groups are they correlated. So Farah, you write down core bracket interest, uh, then enter. So we find realistic is correlated with entrepreneurship. Investigative, they are correlated with the realistic. Realistic also correlated with the investigative and the entrepreneurship. Artistic people, they are not highly correlated. Little bit realistic. And social, they are not correlated with other groups. Enterprising, entrepreneurship, they are also correlated with realistic. And conventional, they are realistic, they are correlated with the investigative. So this is the pattern we are getting. So if we want to do the k-means cluster analysis, you may get this above data. Now you go above. Yeah, so here you can find out the first individual score. I mean, it is the cluster is 6. Second individual in cluster 2. Okay. What is the first case? Whether cluster 6 is very good. what we have noted in the cluster center. You go to the cluster center, which cluster provides better information, not the code. Cluster centers, which cluster provides better information? Cluster 4. No, cluster 4 and 5. Okay. Now you identify any case which is cluster 4. You go to the earlier one. No, you write down the K means the cluster 4. You write down K means result dollar cluster. Yeah, so who is the cluster 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you have to validate the model. Okay, so you have to find out the 8 data. Uh, so, Farah, what is your original data? Carrier data MV num box bracket 8 comma 8 comma then enter. So this is the 8 classes. Okay, and here we can find out what is the row sum. Achha, cluster 4 in which area? High, realistic, no? Realistic. Here you can find out of the 6, 3 is in realistic. Okay, and they are also high. They are also high in entrepreneurship. This individual is high in entrepreneurship. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of 6, 5 areas, they are high. That means these people are realistic and entrepreneurship. These two things are high. And what is the model? Model shows there the cluster 4, no? Cluster 4, no? Para?
Yes, sir. Cluster 4, sir.
So cluster 4 is high in case of the realistic as well as entrepreneurship, 1.52. That means this is valid. The model is valid here.
Yes, sir.
So in this manner, you have to test the validity of the cluster. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is all about today's class about the k-means cluster analysis. Whatever the data we have, based upon that, uh, we presented you the script or script, and for that reason, initially you have to scale the data, and next is the your hypothesis, that is how many clusters is to be explored. Since we have the 6 groups, so maximum cluster we can think about the 6. And you have to find out the k-means result, particularly the cluster, to get some idea about how many people are in each group. That is the number one. And second one, you have to study the cluster centers so that you can get some idea about the specific characteristics of that cluster. And finally, you have to select the person who is in that particular group. And then you can check whether the centers are representing in that individual or not. So that is the validity. So I have told all these things. And please you check your scale data, that is vital because scores are different here. And you can use the histogram to get the idea whether you are getting the adequately scaled data or not. Okay. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Shoma.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Farah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any question if you have, you can ask me. Otherwise, I will close it.
No, sir, no question.
Okay. So you can apply in your daily life that will